Hello, Candace.
Not you again.
Me again. Remember our last oil change? Your boyfriend said he knew a guy who knew a guy. None of those guys knew what they were doing, including you, Todd.
Silence your oil change anxiety at Valvoline Instant Oil Change, where you can watch our experts change your oil right from your car.
Thanks for coming in.
And finish in about 15 minutes. Valvoline. Service you can see, experts you can trust.
This episode of Tap and Step is presented by Cover Zero Analytics, the leaders in next-level football data. Cover Zero delivers predictive matchup previews, classification-based grading, and customized analysis to football coaches who want more than the same old breakdown of tendencies. With Cover Zero, football coaches now have a tool that can measure all aspects of their team's performance. Cover Zero is built entirely around smarter data analysis, helping thousands of coaches find winning edges that don't always appear in film study. If you're a football coach looking for an extra advantage, Cover Zero invites you to join the hundreds of premier programs that have taken their scouting intel to the next level. Ready to see how the best teams win? Start with Cover Zero Analytics. Find out more at coverzeroanalytics.com. That's coverzeroanalytics.com.
Thank you for giving me that leeway to tell us that we were recording so we didn't say something embarrassing.
Mm-hmm.
We were just about to list all the teams we don't like.
Yep.
I was recording this entire time.
Tap and Step, your premium Texas high school football podcast from your friends at Dave Campbell's Texas Football and TexasFootball.com. I am the Tep, Greg Tepper.
And I'm the Stepp, Matt Stepp.
Thank you for being a Dave Campbell's Texas Football subscriber or waiting until Freeloader Friday.
You know what would be a great Christmas gift?
I'm so glad you brought that up.
Yeah, thank you.
A subscription to Dave Campbell's Texas Football. Get your lover a subscription.
Your lover.
TexasFootball.com/subscribe. Nothing says holiday romance like those stupid Hallmark movies my wife watches.
Oh, gosh. My wife watched one last night.
Oh, buddy.
She is not wasting any time getting into her. Look, she is getting into her game right away.
There's no dump and chase. We are getting
what does Mike Roach say? He's like, when we go to coaching school, he's like, I'm getting right into my game right away. She is right into it.
Oh, yeah.
I was watching one last night on the couch.
My wife had one on. She was watching it before Christmas or before Thanksgiving. She was watching one, and I was working on the couch next to her, and so I was just halfway paying attention, and I could tell just in the parts I saw, I was like, "This is the dumbest movie I've ever seen."
Yeah, big city girl goes back to her hometown, just small town, and she meets like the oaf, who's like the handyman, who's like,
but he never left town.
Yeah, falls in love with you.
We could write this right now. Yeah. Someone else who could
the
write
Tep and Step holiday special. What a terrible movie that would be.
I kind of love it. Romance, it's football. Someone who knows a lot about romance and football is our producer, Vianney Moreno. Hi, Vianney Moreno.
Hello. Yes, I like those movies.
Do you really?
I like them, yeah. Why not?
That's fine. They are harmless.
Yeah, they're harmless. I like to make fun of my wife, but it's not.
I gotta balance it out. Listen, on a Sunday, I'm watching a lot of football.
You're screaming at the TV.
I'm watching so much football.
Right?
I gotta be a girl sometimes.
You're two screening it between the Dallas Cowboys and the Kansas City Chiefs, and then also like all my Christmas exes live in Texas or something like that. Yeah. This is your regional final preview edition of Tep and Step. We do thank you for being a Dave Campbell's Texas Football subscriber. Coming up here in just a moment, we're going to do a quick jaunt down memory lane about a wild regional semifinal weekend.
And it was.
It was
wild.
Got a lot to talk about.
Wild times.
And then the final game draft of 2025.
Oh, no. The last one?
It's the last one because next one is semifinals. We just do all 20 games.
We just say F it. We're doing them all.
F it. But first, Matthew, we will start, as we always do, with your Texas high school football fun fact of the week, presented, bingo bango, by Cover Zero Analytics. This weekend, I was feeling a little sad because Thanksgiving was over, and I had to wait another 360 days for Thanksgiving.
I'm sorry.
And then I remembered the joy that Cover Zero Analytics has brought into my life because of all the advanced data and analytics and things like that. They've never let me down.
No.
Cover Zero Analytics is always there for everything that I need, as long as it has to do with high school football analytics.
They're your guys and girls. They're your team.
They're your people.
Listen, in addition to getting the football fan in your life, a Dave Campbell subscription, you should get the football coach in your life.
Oh my gosh,
Cover Zero.
that would be, because I will tell you this as an absolute fact. A good number of Cover Zero Analytics subscribers and people, like teams, they got games this week.
They're still playing.
They're busy.
Yeah.
They're busy. Don't you want to be busy?
Don't you want to be working during this holiday season?
Go to coverzeroanalytics.com. Tell them Matt Stepp and Greg Tepper sent you, and they'll charge you 5% extra. That's not true. That's a bad copy point. But do tell them you heard about them from us.
Yes, please do.
That would be cool. Tell them VNA sent you.
Yeah, everybody likes VNA.
Everyone likes VNA. Use promo code VNA if you can spell it.
Jake, get that promo code up ASAP.
Yeah, promo code VNA to save a percentage.
Just VNA.
There you go.
Yeah, just VNA, not the actual spelling, just the letter V, the letter N, the letter A.
Thank you, coverzeroanalytics.com. Matt Stepp, your Texas High School Football Fun Fact of the Week. Big week of rematches.
Yeah.
Huge.
It's
shocking.
Crazy how. But you know what? You mentioned this on Texas Football Today. We're going to get some great analytics. Shout out Cover Zero. On, the old saying, it's hard to beat a good team twice. We'll find out.
I'm so glad you brought that up because there are a total of 20 because there's a six-man semifinal that is a rematch. Rankin and Water Valley.
Yeah.
Total of 20 rematches this week. In 2024, there were 12 rematches. How many of those 12 did the team that lost the regular season game avenge the loss in the playoffs? So how many times did we get a split decision out of those 12 rematches in the regional final?
I'm going to say 7.
The answer, Matt Stepp, is 5.
Wow.
5.
Okay.
Denton Ryan beat Alito. Angleton beat LaPorte.
I was at that game.
Lavernia beat Bay City.
That's right.
To win Region 4 for a Division 1. Might do it again this year. Brock beat Graham in one of the most shocking things.
Yeah.
That's the real headliner.
That's an outlier there. Yeah.
And then Bremond beat Grapeland. If you remember, Grapeland
They did play in the regular season. Yeah. Yeah.
In the regular season. So
non-district. Yeah.
So there were 7 sweeps and 5, reversing the whip. And so that would, extrapolating that out, we should probably expect 8 teams. Like, is that the net expectation that 8 teams?
What you're setting the over-under at 8?
I'll say 7.5.
Okay.
7.5.
I'll take the over.
Teams. There's a handful of ones that I think they've got a shot. Anyway, there it is, your Texas High School Football Fun Fact of the week.
That's a very topical fun fact.
Thanks,
this
man.
week.
Thanks, I tried. Okay. Let's talk about Thanksgiving weekend and regional semifinal weekend. We could just literally just talk about the games you went to because, I was
batting 50%. I had 2 bangers and 2,
but all 4 were very notable.
Yes, for sure.
So the first game you went to was
Johnson and Steele.
I just want to say, acknowledge me as the guy who has been on the Johnson bandwagon. This feels like good.
You feel like you got to win.
I feel like I won.
Yeah.
I put on my jersey, my Johnson jersey.
Your Johnson jersey.
They come back and beat Cibolo Steel, and I brought this up briefly on TFT. I wonder about the long-term ramifications of this, and okay, is this a changing of the guard in the San Antonio area in 6A? At least?
Yeah. I we'll see. Steele's got a lot back. They're young. This is a pretty junior-heavy Steel team, so I think we're gonna talk about Steele a whole lot more in the coming days and months. I think we're gonna. This next year might be one of those Steel teams. They're really young, but Johnson, they came out and they looked like the better team for the first quarter and a half. They were up 7-0. It really probably should have been 14-0. And then a couple of turnovers late in the second half, and Steele all of a sudden is going into the locker room up 14-7. You're like, man, that sucks. You probably controlled most of the game, and you're down 7. Second half, Steele, jumps. They break that long run to go up 28-10 with 7:54 left, and I said it. I said that's the dagger.
That's church, yeah.
18-point game, and Elvis Estrada just was dealing. They go down and score. They get a quick 3 and out. They get another score, onside kick and score, and then they blocked the field goal. It was a crazy game. Sold out crowd at Gustafson Stadium, an unbelievable atmosphere. The two best teams in San Antonio going at it. It was a great day for the 2-1-0, just for high school football in general. It was a fantastic. Bryson Thompson, he's got that dog in him, and he 17 receptions for 155 yards and 2 touchdowns. He made a miracle fourth down catch to keep a drive alive in the fourth quarter. Great throw, great catch to score the game-winning touchdown. That freshman receiver, Braylon Allen, he's going to be a problem for the next 3 years. He is really good. This is a explosive Johnson offense, and I thought the defense played really well. They really controlled Steele for the most part, and so this is a legit. They're a legit team. They've got prospects. They've got dudes who can go, and they're good up front. That's the difference. This is a good team in the trenches. Obviously, we'll talk about the late Travis game, I'm sure, at some point, but they're a formidable foe.
You then went to Johnson City to watch Junction and Granger. Briefly on that, because spoiler alert, Junction's next game is on my draft board. They will be drafted this week.
All right. Very impressed with Junction. They returned the opening kickoff for a touchdown. Just a lot of weapons. They're just really balanced. The quarterback, Doyle, is kind of the head of the snake. He's the guy who makes it go, but really balanced ball club across the board. They're just solid. There's no weaknesses with Junction. They've been here. Johnson City, it was a interesting. It's a beautiful drive from San Antonio to Johnson City up 281. Fun time there, and Johnson City's got a nice 2A stadium, and it was packed. Johnson City. Junction and Granger both had their. It was overflow crowd. People were standing along the fences. It didn't rain hard. There was no delays during that game, but we had a constant drizzle, and they stayed and they were in it. It was a great ball game, and Junction's got a good ball club.
Saturday, you went to Houston. You ate at Shobles on the way.
I did eat at Shobles. By the way, 10 out of 10.
Yeah.
Shobles was awesome.
And your first game was Randall and Bastrop.
Yes.
I will say this. Well, one team had a lot of fun.
Yeah. Well, the big story here is, first off, Landon Williams-Callis. He's healthy. He's fine. Breaking news. In the first half, he had 14 carries, 287 yards, and 5 touchdowns. In the first half, as Randall raced out to a 55-13 halftime line. He finished the game with. He played a little bit in the second half, but not long. He ended up with 19 carries for 330 yards and 6 touchdowns.
Okay,
that seems good. Just breaking news. Yeah. Randall, what impressed me most about Randall, though, was they looked very competent and comfortable throwing the football. Tyler Skrabonic looks good throwing the ball. Their passing game looks sharp, and their defense just smothered Bastrop. Bastrop had no answers. They were just way too fast for Bastrop, and they could have scored 100 if they wanted. It was that dominant of a win. By the way, Prairie View A&M, great stadium.
Yeah.
Seats 15,000. It's right there on campus. Beautiful stadium, great hospitality. Thanks to Coach Jackson, Coach Colbert, and the Prairie View media staff for the accommodations. They were great. I hope they get more playoff games. There's a chance they might get one in the state semifinals. I've talked to a couple of schools who were interested in possibly playing at Prairie View in the semifinals.
And then your Saturday night nightcap was.
So apparently, I am I'm the guy who brings the rain, because last Saturday I had a 2-hour delay in Corpus Christi. Randall and Bastrop had an hour or so delay, and then Weiss and Barbers Hill, my nightcap, was supposed to kick off at 5, and it did not kick off until 6:45 because of the rain.
Yes.
And once it kicked off, it was a barn burner. And Weiss, jumps out to a 14-0 lead. They get a score. They block a punt for a touchdown. By the way, Weiss, in this football game, there were 3 block punts.
Jeez.
I don't think I've ever been to a football game that had 3 block punts. Weiss blocked 2, returned both for touchdowns. Barbers Hill blocked 1, which set up a touchdown. But Weiss is up early 14-0, and they just had stopped Barbers Hill on a 4th and 1 Barbers Hill went for it on 4th and 1 on the Weiss, around the 20-yard line. And Weiss stopped him. And I'm thinking, and I'm sitting there with Port Arthur Memorial head coach Brian Morgan, and we're like, I think Weiss might run away with this thing.
I was kind of thinking that same thing.
And Barbers Hill, Colby Morgan, linebacker, gets a pick 6 to make it 14-7, and just completely flip that game around. And from then on, it was a knockdown, drag out, street fight, for lack of a better term. And it was just a great football game. And Barbers Hill pulls it out in overtime, 34-31. Cody Semper's ball club. They got a lot of grit. They got a lot of fight, and they just don't go away. Like if you're going to play Barbers Hill and you got them down, you better bury them, because if you don't bury them, they're going to come get you. So it was a great football game, great crowd that stuck around after a 2-hour rain delay. Barbers Hill had an awesome crowd on the home side, great showing for Weiss. It was a great high school football game. Shout out to Coach Malcolm Hill at Weiss.
Yeah.
First-year head coach, first-time head coach, and they had their best season in school history, getting to the third round of the playoffs. It was, I talked to Coach Hill after the game, and he was in tears. He was in tears. He was like, this is a special group of kids to me, and they accepted me. The seniors especially accepted me as their head coach so late, and I think there's a lot to build on, a lot to be excited about at Weiss, considering really what hurt Weiss was that their linebacker, who's also their best running back, who's a sophomore, got hurt early in the game and didn't come back, and that kind of hurt. I think Weiss just couldn't run the football, and once Barbers Hill knew Weiss couldn't run the ball, they really adjusted their defense and really controlled Weiss for the rest of the night.
Okay, I'm going to go through and I'm going to give you a little lightning round here. I'm going to pick one game in each bracket that caught my eye that we haven't talked. We've already done one in 6A Division 1. Although the one that I do have to get one more in 6A Division 1. I'll do one each. Waxahachie 38, Syracuse 31 in overtime. Waxahachie is having one of the strangest seasons. It's been a great season.
Yeah, they're in the regional finals.
But I don't know that they are going to look back. I don't think that the Waxahachie cardiologists are going to look back fondly.
Not a whole lot of dominant wins.
No,
but they find a way. They're finding a way.
Okay, 6A Division 2. It's probably Summer Creek 38, Katy 37.
What a game. I was following that game, and just an unbelievable football game. Summer Creek, we talked about it. They had more playoff pedigree than Katy, and they didn't blink in adversity. They showed they are a playoff-tested football team.
The other one that I want to make sure we touch on, or 2 hours. We might talk about DeSoto later, but DeSoto over College Park is a thumping.
Yeah.
That's really impressive.
There might not be a team in any classification playing as good as DeSoto is right now.
I agree.
They're playing state title.
The other one, we had to wait until 11:30 Friday night to kick it off. So much so that I drove back from St. Louis to Dallas and was able to watch this entire game.
So
South Lake Carroll beats Prosper.
I drove back from Johnson City to San Antonio. Stopped at Johnson City's Dairy Queen, which, by the way, shout out, they were open after 10 p.m. Clutch.
Hell yeah, brother.
When I got back to my hotel, it was like early first quarter. So I watched almost this whole game. So, yeah. Shout out rain delays. Not really, but it was good for me.
I will say, okay, 5A Division 1 was relatively chalky, with the exception of the Barbers Hill. The game of the week in 5A Division 1. Yeah. Although New Braunfels 41, Bernie Champion 31. How about the Unicorns?
Yeah, the Unicorns are into the regional finals.
Okay, 5A Division 2. You had obviously the notable one with Randall. I would also say, as a guy who's been on Gregory Portland, boy, Bernie, a return to form.
Yeah, and I think that's probably, Gregory Portland laid an egg, but I also think Bernie played really well. Excited for that Bernie Alamo Heights game this week.
Very excited about that. Okay, 4A Division 1 game that I want to ask you about is Alvarado 64, Springtown 13.
Maybe the most shocking result of the weekend, just from what happened. Not shocked Alvarado won. I thought that was a kind of a toss-up game. Full disclosure, I picked Springtown, but I thought, I would. If you'd have told me Alvarado won 48-45, I'd have been like, okay, great win, no big deal. 64-13 though, my goodness.
Yeah. How about West Orange Stark 35, Sealy 28 in overtime in a whale of a ball game?
And West Orange Stark's rounding into form, man. That West Orange Stark La Vega game is going to another rematch is going to be a lot of fun.
The other one was obviously probably the game of the weekend. Carthage 34, Pleasant Grove 20. Boy,
for a half, I thought Pleasant Grove was going to do it.
Up 17-7 at the break.
Those 2 early third quarter turnovers just completely flipped that game on its head.
And that's the thing.
There was a difference in the game. Carthage won by 2 touchdowns.
That's the thing about Carthage. And we talk about the talent. We talk about the coaching. Here's what I can tell you about Carthage. If you give them an inch, they will take a mile.
Absolutely. You know, they
It's them. I'm trying to think of teams that pounce on your mistakes better than them. Like Highland Park is one of those teams that pounce on your mistakes.
It's all the teams that win a lot of titles.
Yeah, I was going to say Alito's same way.
Common thread.
Got to play a perfect game. They are remarkable. Okay, 3A Division 1. I want to ask you about Grandview 49 Commerce. Oh no, I'm sorry. I do want to ask you about Grandview Commerce. Another late into the Friday night.
Yeah, because it got delayed for a long time too. I kind of expected a shootout. Commerce decides at the end of the game to go for 2 and go for the win, and
I can't fault them.
Yeah, I mean hindsight's
Yeah.
But I also wonder. Here's my question, and I may ask Coach McSheffrey this at some point. If that game hadn't lasted 6 hours and there wasn't a rain delay, do they kick the overtime and go? They kick the PAT and go to overtime.
The other one, obviously, Columbus 34, Franklin 21 in a statement victory for the defending champs.
Columbus out Franklin. They did not throw a pass in the second half. Columbus threw 0 passes in the second half. They just kind of bullied Franklin, and I'm really surprised, but also I have to give a ton of credit to Matt Schobel and his coaching staff. This is a complete 180 football team, and yet they're right now. If you're asking me today, I think Columbus is going to be at AT&T Stadium. Right now, today. If you ask me today, I think they're going to be at AT&T Stadium.
It's hard to see how a game they're going to be an underdog. I'll say that.
Yeah.
All right. 3A Division 2. Newton 46, Troop 13. It was the Tepp v. Stepp Bowl. I was on Newton. You were on Troop.
And Newton.
Let me tell you.
I'm sold on Newton.
Okay, let me tell you this.
They're a wagon.
You said earlier that there may not be a team playing better than DeSoto right now. I present to you the Newton Eagles.
It might. Yeah, that's probably the one of the best cases other than DeSoto. They are, man. Kendra Porter, Deldrick Samuel. That Newton defensive line is nasty business, y'all. They are really good. They got ARP this week. I think they're going to roll ARP.
Might be.
They are playing great football.
Shout out ARP, by the way. Good win over.
Great win for Josh Smith. Had 6 touchdowns. Another game that went late into the night.
2A Division 1 won't stop being wild, but the game we've got to talk about. Well, let's talk about the big one. Refugio beats Ganado. They get the
huge second half from Refugio. They were down 13-12 at the half.
And then Ray Lewis returned the opening kickoff of the second half for a touchdown, and it was gone from there.
I need Ray Lewis when he scores for Refugio to do
the Ray Lewis dance.
Oh, I need him to do it.
He also wears number 0, which is awesome.
That would be cool.
It's a good looking it's like this.
It's aesthetically that's
very
aesthetically pleasing number. Yeah.
The other one. Joaquin 74, Elysian Fields 21.
They just keep doing it. Jared Jones's ball club just keeps doing it.
How?
4th place last year, 3rd place this year. They just keep doing it.
I know I said
they're at it again, y'all.
I know I said on TFT they can't keep getting away with it.
And they are.
They are. And by the way, they've got a rematch this week against St. Augustine. Guess who I'm picking?
Yeah.
I ain't picking against that wagon right now.
Unbelievable run for them.
Okay. 2A Division 2. The game we probably need to talk about, we may talk about another one, but how about Groover 23, Ropes 13?
Just a slugfest. Just Briggs Satterfield did enough on offense to Groover defense came to play against Ropes and held them in check and sets them up for I think that's a rematch against Stratford, right?
They do.
District rematch against the Elks.
It'll be fun. Anyway, that's a brief jaunt through the regional semifinals. It's on to the regional finals. There are 44 games this week, including our first 4 state semifinals in 1A. So we'll punch first 4 tickets to there. But this is the final game draft of Tepp and Stepp. We won't have another one of these till August.
Yeah, it's a little bittersweet. It means the season. It's really cold outside, and it means the season is.
There's only 76 more football games.
And 44 of them are this week. If we count the 4 6-man semifinals.
In the blink of an eye.
We will.
It really we wait so long for the season to get here, and it literally feels like yesterday I was coming back from Canada to come in and do
week 1.
Yeah,
talk about Dripping Springs and Vandergrift.
It just goes by so fast. It's
also
it's because I'm getting old.
If this is your first episode of Tepp and Stepp, hello. Here's how this works, and then we're going to change the format next week.
Yeah,
Stepp and I
work for one more week this year.
Stepp and I go back and forth selecting games we are most interested in, and so a shout out to the Bovina Mustangs.
Our sweet
Bovina Mustangs. They fell short to Stratford in a magical year. You could have taken Stratford and Bovina last week.
I could have.
I would make a joke, but all 44 of these games are pretty good. And so you can pick any game you want. You just got to sell us on why you are most interested in. We'll go back and forth 5 rounds. Then we'll find out what VNA wrote down. We'll find out where Stepp is going. And then we're going to go get a triple dipper. So,
yeah.
We will.
We really are, actually.
We actually are. We had fake coin flip before the show. Matt Stepp won the fake coin flip, which means that in the final, he has his final first pick of the game drafts in 2025. Mm-hmm. In this realignment cycle, Matt Stepp.
In the year of our Lord, 2025.
Year of our Lord, 2025. What is your first pick?
7 o'clock Friday night at TDECU Stadium in Houston.
Home of the Houston Cougars.
Houston Cougars. And home of Friday night's game between the North Shore Mustangs and the Dickinson Gators. 11-2 North Shore taking on 13-0 Dickinson. And we've said it. North Shore, we said it last week. They're looking for their 8th consecutive Region 3 title, which is incredible. They've also been to 11 straight regional finals.
That's crazy.
They've been to 11 consecutive regional finals. And
you know what? I need to look this up.
I think it goes back to 2015. I think the streak goes back to 2015.
Because, 2015, obviously, they won state. Yeah, 2014 might be the last time they weren't in the regional final.
Yeah.
That might be longer than Gunner. Because, when I think about regional dominance,
yeah,
that's the one that I think of.
I think it predates Gunner, because Gunner was 2016
it was
their
first coming out party.
Yeah,
that's a wild stat.
And so North Shore, the team of record in Houston.
Yes.
They are the team of record.
Not an opinion.
No.
Look at the tape.
And you got Dickinson. The last time Dickinson won a regional title?
1978.
77.
Ooh!
1977. They won a 3A regional title. They were 3A, and they defeated Brownwood in the state championship game that year. That was the Dickinson's only state championship. They've only been to the regional finals a couple times since then. This is not a program that has had a ton of playoff success. And John Snelson has just stayed at it. They've credit to Dickinson. They've kept at it. They've been patient with Coach Snelson. They've been losing to some great teams in the first round of playoffs. They've got a complete football team this year, and that win over Strake Jesuit, 55-16, was a dismantling.
That, by the way, let me just say this: that's a good Strake Jesuit team. That's a good Strake Jesuit team.
Yeah, it was 49-0 at the half,
and they treat them like a 7th place team in their own district.
49-0 at the half. Lorenzo Geary, 3 touchdown passes. Caleb Peterson runs for 2 scores. And then the defense. The first time Johnny Hebert has been held under 100 yards in 2 years.
That's wild. Dang.
Just a dominant effort.
That's a career 8,000-yard rusher that they held under 100 yards. That's crazy.
And so when I looked at 6A Division I Region 3 going into last week, the semifinal games, I kind of thought both of these games would be lopsided. But I thought if there was one game that was going to be at least competitive for a little while, it would be Dickinson Strake, because Strake had Johnny Hebert. And I thought, well, Hebert can break off a couple of the wrong runs, keep him in it. No. It was a butt kicking from the jump. Mm-hmm. And you got North Shore, and they beat Cy Falls 54-27. And I think that score is probably very generous to Cy Falls. This was a game that was 42-7, and at the end of the third quarter, North Shore pulled their starters. Man, Caleb Maryland just delivers every time. He has. I was talking to one Dominic Spencer, South Oak Cliff linebacker coach. They played him week 1, and he was like, "Man," he goes, "We were scared to death at the end of that game because he got cooking and he was rolling, and he goes, we were hanging on for dear life. He was like, that kid is special.
Basically what he's saying is one more possession and it might have been.
That kid is really, and he is playing 299 yards of offense, 3 touchdowns. He spreads the ball around well. And when he stays in the flow of the offense, and when they're not, North Shore kind of gets out of whack when they start. It's almost like when they panic. If you can make North Shore panic a little bit, you got a shot. And what I mean by that is when the North Shore offense is throwing the ball short, staying in the flow, screens, crossing routes, intermediate routes, when North Shore starts chunking it deep, play after play after play, that's when you know you got him. You got him in a blender, and that's kind of what happened A couple years ago when they played Duncanville, it's what happened last year, and they played Westlake in the state semifinals. They started panicking, going for it on fourth down. If Maryland stays within his game, just runs the offense,
and if they have a consistent diet of 3rd and 2, basically,
yeah, because Maryland's he's really good with his legs, and he's not some guys. He's not like Caleb Bailey, Demetrius Davis, where he's going to break off a 60-yard run, but he's going to get. He's very smart with when he picks the spots to run, and he also runs to throw. He runs, keeps plays alive in the pocket, and rolls out and keeps things alive so he can throw the ball downfield. North Shore's defense, they don't have the game wreckers that they've had in the past. Like, they don't have those guys on the defensive line that can just wreck a game, but they're just solid, and they still play with that North Shore intensity. They got that dog in them. They're physical. Excuse me, and they just fly around, and they can make up for maybe they don't have the big time D1 guys because they just fly around and play so hard. Man, I have gone back and forth on this game because I think Dickinson has a legitimate chance to win this football game. I really do. They are 13-0 for and they have wins over Katy, C.E. King, Pearland, Cy-Fair.
They have the better. Here's a weird statement. They have the better resume.
Yeah, I mean, North Shore's got wins over Ridge Point and C. King in Atascocita. So, I mean, I think Dickinson, top to bottom, probably has a little bit better resume. But I made the mistake of picking against North Shore before the playoffs, and I picked them against them in the area playoffs when I took Ridge Point. I was Team Ridge Point, and North Shore kicked those guys right out of the playoffs. So I ain't doing it again. Give me the boys from the east side. I'm taking North Shore. In a very competitive and entertaining football game. It's going to be close, but I like North Shore.
I don't pick against history.
Yeah.
I mean, 7 straight regional titles. You know what I mean? Like, this is where they thrive. Now, I do agree that, like, for Dickinson, it is a lot more important for Dickinson to play from ahead. Like, they need to play from ahead.
Yeah. Well, Ridge Point got down early to North Shore, and it was kind of over. Don't let North Shore get off to that fast start. No. You know, if you can hang in there for a first quarter and ride the wave and absorb it, you got a 4-quarter football game.
It's a good pick. That's 6A Division I.
Yes.
And now for something completely different. 7 o'clock Friday night at beautiful new Hutto Memorial Stadium.
The house that Jenny Netherland built.
In Hippo
Not
Country.
really, but hey, I miss Jenny.
It is a matchup of unbeatens for the Region 4 title in 2A Division II. As the Shiner Comanches at 13-0 take on the Junction Eagles at 13-0, teams that met in this spot a year ago, teams that have every reason to believe that they're the favorite in this game, and a game that I've just thought about since it went final on Friday. Both those went final. I've been like, this is going to be my favorite game of the week.
Yeah, it's awesome.
Let's start with Junction. Junction you saw them last week.
Did.
I think Chase and Doyle is a ton of fun, but it's not just him. They have got weapons everywhere.
Much more balanced. Last year, they had kind of one guy they relied on. I think he went to Air Force. He was a really good player. I can't remember his name now, but this year's team is much more of a balanced attack. They've got 5 or 6 guys that can hurt you along with Doyle.
They've got that Bodie Bierschwally, who's awesome. They can run the ball. They will throw it on you. You know what I mean? Like, they have got real live balance. They can beat you in a lot of ways. But there's
like 3 Bierschwallies out there with Coda, Brock, and Bodie. Right
now, but that is burying the lead because the lead on Junction is that defense.
Very good.
It's an excellent defense. It is the number 3 scoring defense in 2A Division II. Brian Gonzalez leads the way at the linebacker spot. They're giving up a little less than 9 points a game.
Great team speed. They're physical. They've
been great.
They're
really fun.
Excellent 2A Division II defense.
Fun to watch. Here's Shiner. Shiner is, at the moment, at the very least, the team of record in Region 4. They won the region last year. They went to a state championship, came basically within a play of winning the state championship a year ago.
Yeah, brought a lot of guys back.
They have been basically, they're the number 1 team in the to finish the year in the rankings, correct?
Oh, yes.
And they have looked the part. What is interesting to me is that they are whereas everything has kind of gone according to plan for Junction at the quarterback spot, nothing has gone according to plan for Shiner.
Yes.
Okay. Now they run a very different offense. They run the split back veer. So they're going to run the damn ball.
Inside veer, baby.
A little inside veer. But their quarterback this year was supposed to be Jake Simper. Jake Simper was supposed to be their guy. Well, Jake Simper broke his hand. I think in the preseason. I think in the scrimmage.
Okay.
He missed the first 5 games.
Yeah.
And came back mid-season. Well, what they did was like, okay. Daniel Bedecker looked around and goes, okay, well, Jarvis Williams, our sophomore wide receiver, we're going to move you to quarterback. Okay? All he's done is like revolutionize this offense.
Yeah.
Okay?
It's a different element with him running the ball.
Because he gives them, and Simper's got some speed. He's a safety for them. But like, Jarvis Williams is a burner.
Jarvis Williams, you remember in the state championship game last year as a freshman, he made some big time plays, but then in the second quarter, he made a diving catch and broke his hand.
Yes, I
and
remember
missed
that.
the rest of the game. It was a big loss. He is explosive.
He's their game breaker.
Yes.
And now they've got him taking every snap. And so Simper comes back from injury, and Bedecker is like, hey, this is kind of working. So I think they're moving Jake Simper around. I know he's still playing defense. Like he's still being very useful for them, but it's like, okay, we've figured things out. But we also know that they're gonna run the damn ball. They
What Shiner does.
They are defense and special teams, or I'm sorry, defense and running game. Williams obviously runs a ton, but they've got Quincy Jones, who you may remember from last year. They'll hand the ball off to Clayton Fritz. They've got a bevy of dudes in the backfield they can hand the ball off to. The split back veer. But their defense is also excellent, led by Fritz. Kind of leads the way on that defense. This is a hard game to call. I go back. There's 2 data points I want to look at.
Okay.
One is what we'll call the Falls City connection.
Ooh. Bow, bow, bow.
Okay. Because they do have a common opponent. They have a couple common opponents, but I think this one's particularly interesting.
Okay.
Shiner played Falls City in district play. And it was the tightest game Shiner's played against a 2A team.
7-point game.
7-point game, 21-14. Falls City gave them all sorts of fits, but Shiner won the game. Junction has played Falls City twice. They played them in non-district, and then they played them again in the playoffs. And they won those 2 games by a combined score of 90-13. They drilled Falls City. So how much stock do you put into that? I don't know. Matchups, styles make fights, and maybe Junction just matches up better against Falls City. Maybe.
Sure.
And Falls City, that's an old rivalry. Falls City comes to play in that game. Who knows? The other thing is I go back to last year's game, which was Shiner 27, Junction nothing. And the key in that one is that it took about a quarter for Junction to settle in against the split back veer. And by that time,
It was over.
It was 14-0. And you let Shiner get a 2-score lead, they're going to put you in the sharpshooter.
Yeah. They're like, this is great. Let's just sit on it.
Let's go on a 19-play drive. First quarter's critical here. Junction cannot fall. I think Junction has to play from ahead. I'm rolling with the champion's advantage. I like Shiner in this one. But this is a whale of a ball game. And it would not surprise me at all if Junction won.
I'm picking Shiner too.
Computer's Junction by a touchdown.
But the computer has Junction, and I know a couple of other well thought of folks in the business who maybe run some numbers and do some things have kind of said, hey, I think Junction's going to beat Shiner. So a lot of the numbers and the numbies favor Junction here. So we'll see.
It is a fascinating ball game, 2A Division II, Junction and Shiner. What is your second pick, Matthew?
7:00 Friday night, Class 4A Division I, Region 1.
Oh, yes.
At Lowry Field in Lubbock.
It's happening!
Where's the It's Happening gif? It's a rematch of last year's regional final. West Plains last year came into this game a big underdog against Stephenville and shocked the Yellow Jackets on the way to their first ever state semifinal appearance. Their offense played a near perfect game. They were cooking. They got a big onside kick recovery late in the game, and it was a real coming out party for the Wolves in this football game. Well, I guarantee you Stephenville's been waiting a whole year for this football game.
They've been sore about it.
And Stephenville's played like a football team on a mission. 13-0. Their closest game this year was a 16-point win over Ruston, Louisiana. By the way, a Ruston team who defeated Longview. I don't think there's a better win in Class 4A than that win this year.
Let me take a look at how Ruston's done this year.
They were a little down this year, but they still beat Longview.
Well, I will just tell you that Ruston is still alive in the Louisiana playoffs. They beat Southside 38-28.
Yeah.
Southside's the Sharks? That rocks.
I think they're in the largest classification in Louisiana. Ruston's they're probably a 5A school enrollment-wise in Texas. But
Ruston plays Zachary this week.
Oh, big game. Big game in the boot. Last week, Stephenville takes on Canyon Randall. And 51-6. Just obliterated him. Trot Jordan, 3 touchdown passes. This freshman wide receiver, Caden Monk.
Dude, yes!
2 touchdown catches. Zyler McClendon runs the ball.
Can I tell you something, Caden Monk?
Yeah.
Do-rag.
Oh, do-rag rule. Okay. All right. Let me keep that in mind. Did not know that. And then you have their
this is the kind of cover zero analytics type
the
thing.
do-rag rule. And don't forget about this rushing sensation that Stephenville has, Colton Dirth. If you didn't, go to our social media and check out the 305-pound defensive tackle who scored a touchdown last week.
On a straight handoff, by the way.
Yeah, just a dive play. And kind of nimble.
Yeah.
Like, moves well for a big guy. And then the moves after the touchdown,
very strong.
elite.
Very, very strong.
Oh, just...
Dudes Rock.
Oh, he is definitely invited to the Dudes Rock dinner. Colton, you are invited, sir. That was awesome. Then you got, West Plains last week, maybe the biggest game in Canyon ISD history, took on Canyon High in an all-Canyon ISD semifinal. They're at Happy State Bank Stadium. A little bit of a shaky first half, up 14-3 at the half, but they got it rolling, beat Canyon High 35-3. Reed Macon, who is a 4-year starter and has played, he's probably approaching 50 starts as a high school football player now. I mean, he's been around forever. 251 yards and 3 touchdowns. I do think it was noticeable the difference in West Plains offense without their running back Slade Russell.
Yeah.
Who suffered an unfortunate injury. He's out, I'm pretty sure, for the rest of the year. Maybe if they get to the state championship game, there's a chance he comes back, but he's out. And I think it was noticeable. They miss him quite a bit. West Plains, I think they were basically perfect last year against Stephenville and basically needed an onside kick late to recover. They got to be perfect again. I just can't. Not this Stephenville defense, which we haven't talked about a whole lot, but is among the best defenses in the state regardless of classification. I just can't see it 2 years in a row. I think Stephenville. I think this might be Stephenville's year right now. If you sports gun to my head, who's winning 4A Division I state? I'm taking Stephenville, and I think they're not going to blow up. West Plains is too good on offense; they'll get some, but I think Stephenville wins by double digits.
I think they come in here with a chip on their shoulder.
Yeah, and I think they are going to be. It's going to be a pissed off football team.
And
So.
I think you're absolutely right. Good pick. That, like you talked about Canyon and Canyon West Plains, that's like a relatively friendly rivalry. Within Canyon ISD. We can talk about another friendly rivalry, 7:30 p.m. Friday night at Green Stadium in Bryan. What are you laughing at? As the South Oak Cliff Golden Bears take on the Port Nature's Groves Indians, 2 programs with immense. I will say this: within the coaching staffs, as people who have talked with both coaching staffs, there is a lot of respect between those coaching staffs for one another, for the programs, for the teams they operate, and there's a lot of respect between those coaching staffs.
Maybe not so much with the fan base.
I want to be very clear about that. The fan bases are not fans of each other.
No.
As the South Oak Cliff Golden Bears and the Port Neches Groves Indians play for the 4th year in a row in the playoffs. To rewind, 2022, South Oak Cliff goes back-to-back, beating Port Neches Groves in the state championship game. In a good game where South Oak Cliff made some plays defensively late.
Second half, it was P&G was a big underdog going into that game and
hung around.
They were up at halftime. Remember, they were up, and then South Oak Cliff, I think, they got a pick six.
The Malik Muhammad pick six.
Yeah.
Where he slid into the end zone, remember?
Yeah.
Anyway, there's that. 2023, P&G reverses the whip. And
shocks South Oak Cliff.
Shocks South Oak Cliff in a gritty, nip and tuck affair where every little thing mattered. Mm-hmm. It was a great ball game.
P&G made the little plays to win that
exactly
game.
Right.
And by the way, I was maybe one of the few media members who picked P&G to win that game, and the P&G people still remember that I picked them. Because when I went to their game against LaPorte, they're like, hey, you picked us to beat Sock a couple years ago. Big fan. Yeah, I don't know about a big fan, but they at least acknowledged. They acknowledged me.
Yeah. 2024, they meet in the regional final. This very spot.
At SFA.
And South Oak Cliff exacted some revenge.
Oh, you want to talk about a pissed off football team? Mm-hmm. That South Oak Cliff team last year against P&G, they had a point to prove.
They proved it.
Yes.
So now they're meeting for the fourth year in a row. Let's talk about the money matchup here. Mm-hmm. The money matchup. When South Oak Cliff has the ball, that's why you buy your ticket. That's why you stream the game on Dave Campbell's Texan Live.
That's right. This game is live on Texan Live.
And that's the money matchup. Because you got the South Oak Cliff offense, and especially the running game with Mikhail Trotter and Levon Morton.
498 yards last week.
500 yards rushing against an unbeaten Terrell team. And they weren't some soft. I don't know if there's such a thing as a soft 12-0. They were not a soft 12-0.
No,
it's a good ball club.
They just mashed them into cornmeal, basically.
It was unbelievable. Up against the P&G defense, coached by defensive genius Jeff Joseph.
He's a wizard.
And last week against Midlothian Heritage, they held Midlothian Heritage to 97 total yards.
They needed every bit of that wizardry last week because the offense for P&G struggled.
So that's the matchup, the big money matchup.
Oh, yeah. P&G's defense they've gotten progressive. When I saw them early in the year against LaPorte, I was like, this defense, got some work to do. They've done the work. They have improved tremendously.
And that is going to be a knockdown, drag-out South Oak Cliff offense versus P&G defense. Hard divide. Mm-hmm. Here's the other side now. And we can acknowledge that this sucks, that Connor Bailey's hurt.
Absolutely.
This sucks.
Because he was there with Bailey in an offense, their offense was really, really good. He's got 3 receivers, 2 really good running backs. The offense really revolved around him.
All we want to see is 2 great teams at full strength going at it.
Yes.
And I think South Oak Cliff fans can admit that it sucks that Connor Bailey, who has been a 3-year starter for them and a state champion, won't be able to play in this game.
When you're a competitor, when you're a competitor, you want to beat your opponent that's at their best. You don't want any what ifs.
Cameron Christian, the backup quarterback, the sophomore, came in last week, or came in the area round against. I
think it was Ashworth. Was it Ashworth? The announcer said Ashworth in the game, but
I might be wrong. Anyway, the backup quarterback comes in, and against Ennis, no big deal.
He looked great against
Ennis.
First start, looked comfortable. They put up 63 on Ennis.
Last week against Midlothian Heritage, he looked like a sophomore. It's a good Midlothian Heritage team, and I would say a really inspired effort by Heritage, but looked like a sophomore. And then
it's Ashworth. It is Ashworth.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah.
And then he started kind of. Long story short, P&G couldn't run the ball, and so as a result, they had to throw, and it just didn't.
He looked like a guy making a second varsity start in the third round of the playoffs. That's a lot to ask of a sophomore and start number 2.
South Oak Cliff defense didn't go anywhere.
No.
Jadarian Jones and company and all the dudes they've got.
They're loaded on defense.
And that's where I think, unfortunately for P&G fans, that's where the mismatch is. Mm-hmm. Because right now, we know, we talk about Jeff Joseph and what a defensive whiz he is. Kyle Ward, the defensive coordinator at South Oak Cliff, a defensive whiz.
Yeah. There's a reason that a bunch of colleges want to hire Kyle Ward, and it's not
because he's a handsome guy.
Yeah, it's because he's a ball coaching jack.
He is a handsome guy, but whatever.
Yeah.
All that's to say, I think that you are going to see. This is what I foresee happening. I think South Oak Cliff is going to put 8 in the box and dare P&G to run the ball. Yeah. Dare them, or dare them to throw the ball.
Yeah.
Right. and say, if you're going to beat us, you're going to beat us. Because here's the thing. I know they feel like they can put their guys on islands, put them in one-on-one and maybe with a safety over the top, but like put them out there where they can. This is going to take maximum creativity from the P&G offensive staff to find a way through, and that's where I think that this game comes down to, and why South Oak Cliff I think is your favorite.
And if you're P&G, you have got to run the football. Tyson Henry and Chris Diaz have to have the games of their lives because they have got to run the ball and keep South Oak Cliff's offense off the field and keep their defense fresh. Because if you leave your defense out there too long against that South Oak Cliff offensive line, you're just going to get worn down. Yeah. It's just going to happen. So I think P&G, I think they absolutely have to get creative, and they have to find a way to generate first downs, milk the clock. Like, you're not at full strength here. You got to get creative, and you got to shorten this football game and limit touches, and hope that your defense can hang on and get a stop or two. That's the only way to victory. And I do think this will be a much more competitive game than last year's game, because I think P&G is going to be amped up for this one because they got their pants pulled down and embarrassed last year by Sock. I think they're going to.
Max Prush has Cameron Christian as the quarterback in their game against Midlothian Heritage. That's where I got it from.
Okay, no, I mean the announcers on the game said Ashworth, and then
you're probably right,
but
one of us is wrong. And hopefully, I'm not wrong on the picks, and I won't get roasted by.
That's okay, but it's okay. It's back. We know he's a backup quarterback.
Yes. So that to me is.
I think it's a close game for a half. I think P&G finds a way to keep this close at half. A second half, I think it'll look a lot like the South Oak Cliff Huntsville game last year, where it's competitive at halftime, and the South Oak Cliff just kind of wears them down in the second half.
It'll be a scene, that's for sure. What's your third pick, Matthew?
This is tough. There's a lot of good games, man. I've been really going back and forth. Let me go 7 o'clock Friday night. I'm going to be a big Houston guy this week. 7 o'clock Friday night at Legacy Stadium in Katy. It's the Randall Lions at 13-0 taking on the 12-1 Iowa Colony Pioneers.
12-1?
12-1, yeah.
Last year Iowa Colony was 12-2. So they've had 3 losses in the last 2 seasons.
And 24 wins.
Really 24-3
sure
is really impressive. I wonder who those 3 losses are to.
Every single one of them is to Randall, and 2 of them have been in overtime. If you don't think Iowa Colony is sick and tired of Randall, then you don't know what's going on.
Personally victimized
yes.
by the Randall Lions.
They have ended their season last year in overtime. Then this year Iowa Colony gets up 21-0 on them early, and we're thinking, okay, the winning streak for Randall ends. It's over. Iowa Colony's going to handle them, and then Landon Williams-Callis just goes off. They come back and win that football game. We talked about Landon Williams-Callis and Randall and kind of what happened in that 83-20 demolition of Bastrop. Which, by the way, if there's any talk about why Randall ran it up on Bastrop, blah blah blah, no, they had backups in, and from what I understand, that there was not a running clock, so. It's the playoffs, guys. It's the third round of the playoffs. Like, at this point, are we gonna there's a point where you call off the dogs, but that point is a lot later in the third round of the playoffs than it is in the regular season. I would promise you that. So I was there. I did not get the vibe that Randall was running it up. Randall's you're gonna tell your backup running back not to score.
Yeah.
So if Iowa Colony is gonna win this game, you got to find a way to at least you got to make Tyler Skrbonek beat you, and that's not. I think Tyler Skrbonik's a good quarterback. He was obviously a big part of their state championship team. He looked great last week. But he's got to beat me because I know Landon Williams-Callis is going to beat me. If you've got to sell out in heavy box, 8 guys in the box, and you got to say
not you.
Yes, anybody but you.
Because Skrbonek is a very good quarterback.
He is. He looked great. He had 188 yards passing last. He looked good.
LWC is an elite running back.
I said it when they played. I had 2 college coaches text me and say it's the best running back in the country right now, regardless of classification. So 319 and 6 touchdowns says it all. He is a game changer for Randall. You got to find a way to stop him. Man, Iowa Colony, They are lucky to get past Brenham last week. Brenham gave them a run.
Man, let me tell you something.
But what a hard luck. Brenham is maybe the hard luck team in the state. Obviously, with what happened off the field with Jacoby Dixon, his late transfer, there are some reports that he's back at Brenham now. I have not confirmed that, but there's some reports that he's back enrolled at Brenham. So maybe we see him next year in a Brenham jersey. I hope we do.
Yeah.
Because I think he's a heck of a football player. But not having him, this senior class played. They were a weird team though, because like the loss to University, the close wins over Killeen and Ellison, but then they take Iowa Colony to the mat and beat Liberty Hill. Yeah. So it's I don't know what to make of
that. Chris Guidry kid. Like, I know we're talking about the team that Iowa Colony beat, but like that Chris Guidry kid at Brenham, that's a stud. Yeah.
Speaking of studs, Jaden Warren for Iowa Colony, the new A&M. I think he just recently he decommitted from Houston and committed to A&M. Man, he had two touchdown catches from Carson White. One of those touchdown catches was ridiculous. He's unbelievable. Aaron Tenner had 223 yards rushing and a score. And I love how Iowa Colony's put their big D tackle, Daniel Swinney, out there on offense as kind of a lead blocker. He's a big boy wearing number 0, and it looks awesome. This is a game I've gone back and forth on this one too, and I'm gonna follow. I think at this point, it's happening.
Okay.
I think Iowa Colony, they've lost in overtime twice. They are right there. Like, the margins here are slim. And I'm just going to go with the odds here and be like, there's no way Randall's going to beat them in close games 3 times. I don't think this is going to be a blowout.
Here's the other thing. There were 2 overtime games. The other one was like 30-10. It was like a respectable
Randall kind
game.
of pulled away late. Yeah, but this, I think the last 2 are more indicative of where these 2 teams are. And I think I'm just going to play the odds here, and I think Iowa Colony finds a way to slow Williams Callis down enough. And I don't know if Randall can stop Carson White in that out. If they are, it's going to be Pac-Man Dominguez leading the charge. That dude is a monster on defense for Randall. He's a stud. But I don't think Randall's defensive line is quite as good as they were last year.
Last year they were monsters.
Yeah.
They were incredible.
I'm going to go with Iowa Colony in the slight upset to put an end to Randall's 29-game winning streak, which is incredible.
I'm on Randall. I just think maybe they just have their number, but I think you're well within your rights to think that. Okay. My third pick, Matthew. I'm staying Houston area.
Big Houston week this week.
7 o'clock Friday night.
Houston guys.
At Thorne Stadium in Houston.
Beautiful Thorne Stadium.
It's Aldi ISD, though, right?
Yeah, Aldi ISD, but it's Thorne. It's in the city of Houston.
It's in the city of Houston. It's a District 23 6A rematch as the Humble Summer Creek Bulldogs. It's actually our first rematch we're talking about today. Yeah.
Iowa Colony
Randall. Okay, back-to-back version. The Humble Summer Creek Bulldogs take on the Sheldon C.E. King Panthers. It's a rematch of a Week 7 game. Mm-hmm. Now, since they've gone their separate ways after Week 7, when C.E. King got a real signature win over Summer Creek, 42-28, they've kind of had really different paths to get here. Summer Creek had to pull a rabbit out of their hat against Katy in a 37-36, 38-37 stunner in which they score with 20 seconds left.
On a 4th down.
On 4th and 8 to save their season.
What a play by Trenton Thomas, though. His first catch of the game.
Noah Spinks keeps it alive, puts it on him, and stuff like that. And by the hair on their chinny chin, they are through to the regional final.
They dug themselves a couple of they were down 14-0 and 21-7 early. And it's not recommended to do that against CE King.
They found a way. No such trouble for CE King.
No.
CE King in their first 3 playoff games have outscored their opponents 159-13.
Seems good.
159-13. They are playing at maximum efficiency right now. They are rolling. And so let's flash it back to when they played in Week 7. Deion Sims ran for 160 yards in that score.
Commit. Yep. Yeah.
Timothy Potts, their quarterback, threw for a pair of touchdowns. But the difference and the reason, in my opinion, that CE King won that game was because of their defense and because they jumped on them early.
Oh, they jumped on them.
They jumped on them in a hurry. And an underrated part of that game, in going back and revisiting it, Summer Creek abandoned the run.
Yeah,
they had to.
They're down 42-0 at halftime.
Yeah. They had to abandon the run. They abandoned the run when it was 14-0.
Yeah.
And so Noah Spinks is great. Their quarterback is great. Benny Easter is a dog. Jamaica Jones is a dog. But they are at their best when they are balanced, when Braylon Causey is running the ball, and when they're able to do everything.
Yes.
Because they were able to pull it out last week against Katy. If they fall behind against C.E. King, like they did in this one, and like they did against Katy, and like they've kind of had a habit to doing, C.E. King's not going to let them off the mat.
They'll run away and hide.
Because
they won't stop either.
They won't stop.
Yeah.
Because the offense is too good, and the C.E. King defense is too good, too.
They're playing their best football at the right time right now.
I think the first quarter tells us everything. First 12 minutes. If it's 21-7 C.E. King, night-night. It's over. See, they have got to, I think that Summer Creek has got to withstand the surge and get this a game into the third and fourth quarter and then see what happens from there.
Yeah.
But right now, I don't know if the C.E. King defense will get
There's only been one team that was able to get off the mat after the early C.E. King surge, and that was Dickinson.
Yeah.
Because when North Shore beat C.E. King, North Shore just jumped on them early. North Shore reversed it on them. C.E. King jumped out early on Dickinson. Dickinson found a way, which I think tells us a lot about how good Dickinson is.
Yes.
Which we talked about that game earlier. But yeah, that's the one team. Yeah, it's not recommended to get down against C.E. King.
It's hard to beat a good team twice, but I think that C.E. King is a bit of a matchup problem for Summer Creek, and that's why I think they're going to win the region.
I'm going to go Summer Creek, and I'm going to lean on since halftime of that football game. Summer Creek's been border. I mean, they beat North Shore 27-0. That's what I'm hanging my hat on. Summer Creek. I think they shut out C.E. King in the second half. I think they get it done this time. So I'm gonna go Summer Creek.
What's your fourth pick?
7:00 Friday night at Choctaw Stadium in Arlington.
Hot.
It is the Class 5A Division II Region 1 Championship as the Melissa Cardinals at 10-2 take on the Argyle Eagles at 12-1. And Melissa,
will this game kick off at 11:30 as well?
For everyone's sake, for our good friend Blake Jones's sake, I hope not. This is a game that a lot of us thought this would be the game going into the regional finals when the playoff brackets came out, and we're here. Man, last week, what an impressive effort from Melissa. They destroyed Anna 49-7. They hold Anna to 180 yards of offense.
This is as I hope this comes off as a compliment that I mean it. They made Zyandre Williams look ordinary.
Yeah, and then he got hurt. Then they knocked him out of the game.
Yeah,
you know they physically assaulted Anna. Like they just beat the hell out of him. Three turnovers. They were amazing. Brett Holloway, huge night for Melissa. 300 yards rushing. 300 yards rushing from your quarterback.
300
2 touchdowns.
yards rushing.
155 yards passing and 3 touchdowns. Okay, huge game. We'll get back to Brett Holloway here in a second. Argyle last week takes on the team that beat Melissa in district play, Prosper Walnut Grove, 12-0, and Argyle romps them 59-42. Walnut Grove could not stop McGuire Gasperson in that Argyle offense. 332 yards passing, 4 touchdowns. Gasperson 45 yards rushing and a touchdown. Julian Caldwell, 10 catches, 164 yards and 2 touchdowns. The running game with Rex Rote and Watson Bell was outstanding. The Argyle defense did enough. They weren't great, but also Walnut Grove's got a really, really good offense, but they made some plays when it counted to get that lead. They cruised to win by 17 points. Okay, there you go. Now, the big story to watch in this football game is the status of Brett Holloway, Melissa's quarterback. So, at the end of the game last week, Brett Holloway was ejected. Okay. UIL rules say if you are ejected in the second half of a football game, you must sit out the first half of the next game. If you're ejected in the first half, you're
just ejected. You have to sit out a half, basically.
Yeah. In this case, because he was ejected in the second half, he has to sit out the first half. Now, Melissa's appealing it, and apparently the Tasso chapter that worked that game said they have a point here. But it's not the Tasso's decision anymore. No. It's a UIL decision. I've not heard, where it's Monday at 5:30. We have not heard what the UIL has said about this as of yet. So, at this point, I'm going to assume, because it's pretty rare for the UIL to overturn an official's ejection. Yeah. Now, it helps that Tasso said, hey, we are bad. We shouldn't have ejected him. That helps. But still pretty rare. So we're going to see what happens here with the UIL and that ruling. I would imagine that will come down any day now. I mean, we could at any moment we could hear that. I may call Coach Nally after the show and ask him about that.
Probably not a thing we can call him on the air about.
No,
not a
probably
fun,
not that.
Not a fun thing to call.
Yeah,
them.
call and ask you where your game is, or that.
We can
kind
do
of thing.
bits about that.
Yeah, but not that. I'll call him off the air. So we'll see. I'll say this: if Brett Holloway has to sit out the first half, I find it hard to believe Melissa's going to win that football game, because I don't know if they can move the ball consistently against Argyle, and I just feel like the hole might be too big to get out of it by halftime. Now, I do think if somehow Melissa manages to keep it a one-score game, they're going to get a big lift at halftime when Holloway comes back out there. Maybe they pull it off. But my gut tells me Argyle gets out to a comfortable halftime lead, holds off a late Melissa rally, and wins this football game. Now, if Holloway plays the first half, this is a coin flip football game.
I agree.
And it's going to come down to which defense can get off the field. Melissa was my pick. I'm picking Argyle because I'm assuming that Holloway's going to sit out the first half. But if he plays, I would, and it's weird. It sounds like I'm flip-flopping, and I kind of am.
Yeah.
But
no, because
I'm making the pick under the assumption he's not playing, so give me Argyle.
Well, and I don't know if we're gonna. I haven't seen your draft board. I don't know if you're taking Salina Alvarado, but there's a similar situation I think with Salina and Alvarado, because if you didn't know, Bo Bentley was injured in the second quarter of Decatur, the game against Decatur,
and did not return.
When the game was still competitive, and so they could have. I'm saying they could have used him. You know what I mean? I'm in that same boat of if he doesn't play against Alvarado can absolutely beat him, in my opinion. If he does play, I think Salina's in my opinion, a not maybe comfortable, but a clear favorite.
Sure, agree.
And so that I'm in that same boat with that of waffling back and forth. I like Argyle. I like Argyle regardless.
Okay.
I like Argyle regardless.
Yeah, I'm taking Argyle because I'm going on an assumption Holloway doesn't play. But if Holloway starts the game, I think Melissa wins it in a close one. They were my pick to win the region before the playoffs.
Here's what a good week this is, Matt Stepp. We have a rematch of, in my opinion, the game of the year, and I get it with pick 8.
Yeah, the depth this week is crazy.
7:00 Friday night at Hero Stadium in San Antonio. It is a rematch for the 4A Division II Region 4 title, as the Sinton Pirates take on the Cuero Gobblers in a game that we saw in October.
Yes,
and now
best games of the year.
And now we get a sequel. Because you may remember that Sinton and Cuero played, and Sinton was up 55-35 about halfway through the fourth quarter.
No, I think it was 3.5 minutes left. It was late. Cuero recovered 2 onside kicks. It was late.
When Cuero and a thunderbolt rang off 21 unanswered and blocked a would-be game-winning field goal to win 56-55 in an instant classic. Terrific stuff.
Cuero's played in a few of those this year.
And now we get it again.
Oh.
And
that game's in San Antonio too, right? It's a great week of games in San Antonio this week, by the way.
It is notable of who is not in this game, because the Sinton Pirates did what basically nobody's been able to do over the last decade, and that is loosen Wimberley's grip on Region 4.
Yeah, Wimberley has at least been to the regional final every year for a while.
Yeah.
Man, I think Cuero beat him a couple of times in regional play, but Wimberley's at least playing round 4. They're playing December football in Wimberley most of the time.
And look, Sinton took it to them.
That was a gutty win for Sinton.
They were down, and then they found a way, and it's 2 guys in particular. One is, of course, Micah Green, the superstar running back, and he is a problem.
He's a great player.
The other is probably the unsung hero, is Quincy Best, their quarterback. He made some big boy throws.
Yes,
to bring them back.
He did. And Marco Zapata was really the catalyst. He had a 66-yard touchdown run and a 47-yard touchdown run in the fourth quarter to kind of put that game away, because they did. Wimberley did a good job kind of slowing Green down. And that just shows how complete this team is. When their best player doesn't have his best game, and other guys step up and make plays. So, Mike Troutman, I'm sure Mike Troutman was very calm and very calm and collected after the game.
Cuero,
no, he's fired up, y'all.
So Cuero is coming off of avenging their own loss when they knocked out Rockport Fulton last week. Remember that game? Like where Rockport Fulton won like...
It was a reverse of the Sinton game.
58-57 or something?
Cuero had a huge... I think Cuero may have been up like 42-14 at one point in the early, and yeah, Rockport came back.
That game was close in the fourth, though.
Cuero was always up on Rockport. They couldn't shake him.
Yeah.
It took him a while to finally shake him off.
Walker Dietz went nuts. They ran the ball well with Jordan Jones and Carmelo Perez.
Walker Dietz, he had a crazy one-handed catch like that. Didn't score a touchdown, but set up a touchdown. And he is a problem on the outside because he's one of the most underrated players in the state.
Jackson Murray, their quarterback, is a lot of fun. I'll say this: it ain't going to end 7-3. This will be pointsy. Okay,
I think both.
This will be a
pointsy
ball game. I'll just go back to the time we've seen them play each other.
Mm-hmm.
Sinton was the better team for 44 minutes of that game.
Yeah,
and then the last 4 minutes,
all hell broke loose.
Cuero found a way.
Mm-hmm.
I think Sinton gets a little revenge. And I think
I agree with you in this.
I have a hard time believing that Cuero's defense can slow down consistently.
I trust the Sinton defense a little bit more.
That's exactly it. I think it's a wild one again, but I think Sinton avenges that and gets the win.
They're carrying the flag for Sinton is really the last true
Coastal Bend team.
South Texas team.
Yeah.
I mean, it's south of San Antonio. It's Sinton.
Yeah.
Like there's Cuero. I guess I don't think Cuero's even south of San Antonio.
What a good question.
I think it's east of San Antonio, but Sinton is the last kind of bastion in South Texas.
All right, that's my fourth pick. What's your fifth pick? Your final draft
so
pick
many
of the
good
year.
games on the board here. 3:00 Saturday at Midlothian ISD Stadium. It's a district rematch as the Duncanville Panthers take on the Waxahachie Indians. And early in the season,
Speaking of rematches of one of the best games of the year,
Waxahachie made their statement this year with that win over Duncanville to open district play. A comeback win. They were down 27-9, and they came back. Jaquan Snell, the tackle of the year, that fourth down stop on fourth down when Duncanville was trying to win the game, was impressive. That's when Waxahachie made their announcement that, hey, we're a legitimate contender. Now, the next week, Waxahachie got boat raced by DeSoto. So they didn't handle the success very well. Now, since then, they've been on a nice roll. They beat who they were supposed to beat. And we talked about their game last week where they had to kind of rally. Jerry Meyer III, I think, had his best game. Jerry Meyer III his numbers have not been great this year. He's
been up and down, yeah.
Not near as good as his sophomore year. But he had his best game in a big moment. He throws for 353 and 2 touchdowns. Cohen Brown had 7 catches for 137 yards. And Talon Strange, the sophomore running back, has really come on late in the year and been a real revelation for the Indians.
He had the game-tying touchdown catch late in that one. And then you mentioned Jaquan Snell. He was the guy who grabbed the onside kick against Cy Range.
Your dude's making plays in the right time. Duncanville, since that loss to Waxahachie, they have really quietly been kind of building steam and playing. They dismantled Klein Collins last week, 34-7. 21-point second quarter has been the key, and we know about and the quarterback situation is still weird, but looks like Jacorian Rivers is still the guy. I don't expect Denson to come back anytime soon for off the field things. But the key for Duncanville, they've always been able to throw the ball. They have offensive coordinator Jason Lavender has gotten very creative with their running game. They've found a running game a lot of the ways using Asen Theus as a Wildcat quarterback and just letting him go. And it has been. They've been able to get big plays in the running game that has really helped this offense out.
I think what's really interesting about this Duncanville attack and what's been so different, especially last year. Last year, you had 2 5-stars You had a 5-star quarterback in Keelan Russell, and you had a 5-star wide receiver in DeCorey Moore.
Hit the easy button.
And just be like, run the touchdown play.
Yeah.
This year, I think that Duncanville has had to be more innovative.
Oh, yeah.
And they've had to scheme it up a little bit more. And I give that coaching staff a ton of credit for kind of going back to the drawing board, I think, after that Waxahachie game and being like, how do we make this work?
Agree. And they've done it. They've done a great job, and they've figured out, okay, this is where we have good personnel. Let's find a way to get the personnel the ball. And maybe we have to snap it to them instead of throw it to them, and it's worked. And especially the running, they found a running game finally. They really haven't had a running game since Caden Durham graduated. And they found a little bit of a running game here, and it's been big for them. We know about the Duncanville defensive line, maybe the best in the state. The two headliners are KJ Ford, the Florida commit, Landon Barnes, the Ole Miss commit on either side. Got two SEC defensive ends getting after you.
Seems good.
Yeah.
Cool trick if you can do it.
The D tackle, who's probably not real highly recruited, number 99, I can't think of his name right now, but he is a hellraiser in the middle of the defensive line. If you can block Duncanville, you can make plays. I think there's plays to be had against her linebackers in the secondary. We'll see if Waxahachie can block them up. Waxahachie matches up well with Duncanville. This is a team that I think they match up better with Duncanville than they do DeSoto.
Well, and I think we saw that.
But it is a monumental task to ask a team to beat Duncanville twice in the same season.
I would love to.
It would be among the most impressive things I've ever seen in high school football
Yes.
for Waxahachie to beat them twice in the same year. So
I would love to
I'm going Duncanville.
I would love, forget in the same year. I would love to know the last time it's the answer. I think I know the answer. The last coach to beat Reginald Samples twice in a row. It's got to be John Kay, right?
I think John Kay is probably the only one.
Might be the list.
Yeah.
I mean, it just doesn't happen.
Yeah, I don't know when Samples was at Skyline, if they lost to Allen.
I bet it was
twice.
Maybe.
I know Kyler. I think they only played Allen once.
But think about it: Tom Westerberg, John Kay. I mean,
yeah, it's
Shane Tollison can enter some pretty heady company with 48 great minutes.
Yeah.
I like Duncanville.
I do too.
But Waxahachie's found a path, and I'll say this: they got to find an answer for Jaquan Snell defensively. They got to know where he is on every
Waxahachie,
play.
like I said, they match. That talent for talent, they may have more dudes than Duncanville.
It's a wild thing to say, but you're right.
They are loaded. So we'll see. I just think it's hard to beat Duncanville twice.
I agree with that. I'm going with that. I think that's my kind of animating principle here. Man, so many good games.
I know.
So many good games that are going to get left off here.
We're sorry.
Because
hey, next week we're picking every game.
I know.
Just win this week, and we'll talk about you next week.
Because let me talk about a game we're not talking about next week. Matt Stepp, we will punch some tickets to AT&T Stadium this week. 6:30 p.m. Friday night at Wolf Stadium in Colorado City.
I've driven past. Never been to a game there, but I've driven
Dan
past there.
Gainey's still hanging around.
That's my guy.
The great Dan Gainey.
If you know, you know.
The game of the year in the smallest classification in the UIL, 1A Division II, the Jayton Jaybirds, the defending state champs, take on the Klondike Cougars. It is a battle of unbeatens. It is the game of the year. The winner of this game is, at worst, the favorite in the title game, and arguably the prohibitive favorite in the title game. This is 1 versus 2. This is the game we've been waiting for. And Jayton's the defending state champs, 28 wins in a row. They've won 28 in a row. Bodie Ham, Sean Stanley, they've been great. Now, they got pushed last week by Benjamin. An undefeated Benjamin, I think Benjamin had one loss.
Okay.
But Benjamin pushed them. It's the first time we've seen him bleed. Basically, they took him. It might be the first time they played all 4 quarters. But they found a way. They come up with him. Klondike has got a 4-year starter in Jared Quintanilla. They're spread back. And they've got a star junior in Cannon McGee, who is a dog. And we know that this is the year that Coach Dalton DeGraff and Reed has been building towards. He's been wanting it to get to this year. When they played in this spot last year, the moment was too big for Klondike. 50-0. I think Klondike's remembered that. And I think we're in for a whale of a ball game. but I also am not in the business of picking against 28-game win streaks. I think Jayton's your favorite, but I also think this is the game of the year, number 1 versus number 2, and a fantastic. This is the game. If you go back and look at our pre-playoff predictions, basically the 4 predictors, myself and Lehman Saunders, Bobby Brown, and Craig Sperry, we are split on the champions, and it's these 2 teams. So we believe the winner of this game wins the state championship. I like Jayton. You are 100% within your rights to take Klondike. I think it's a whale of a ball game to punch a ticket to AT&T Stadium. Might be looking at the schedule. I think it might be the first game.
All the 6-man semis are on Saturday, right?
I believe this is the only Friday. This is the only Friday. Rankin plays Water Valley and San Angelo on Saturday. If you're in the Metroplex, by the way, Union Hill plays Gordon at 6 o'clock in Ennis. So you can get a little 6-man action. And then Strawn and Richland Springs plays the other 1A Division II title game on Saturday. Because you remember, they can play on Saturday because they get the Super Bowl week. They don't play again until Wednesday of state championship week. So that is my 5th and final pick. The final pick of the game drafts this year is Jayton and Klondike. So there it is. Stepp took North Shore Dickinson, Stephenville West Plains, Richmond Randall and Iowa Colony, Melissa and Argyle, and Duncanville Waxahachie. I took Shiner and Junction, South Oak Cliffport, Natchez Groves, C.E. King, Summer Creek, Sitton and Cuero, Jayton and Klondike. Oh, my God.
We did not pick Allen and North Crowley.
We did not pick Highland Park, Frisco, Lone Star.
San Antonio, Johnson, Lake Travis.
A positioning statement. I think Johnson's going to do it.
Okay. I like Lake Travis.
I recognize all the history I'm going against by saying that.
Denton, Ryan, Alito.
Yeah. Another rematch.
Pick that. There's some great small school
Allen
games.
and North Crowley's going to play at Datku Stadium.
They are playing it. We didn't pick Alvarado Salina. We talked about it. We didn't pick it. Greenwood Brock.
Battle of Unbeatens. And the moment has come.
Yeah, I'm a little concerned, though.
I know. I'm concerned, too. This is the game I'm most concerned about. Yeah. This is always going to be the game I was most concerned about.
Bremond Mount Enterprise. Kagan Ash has a chance to break the record.
He does. He can break Ken Hall's record. And by the way, if they win this game, he's got a shot at the career record, too.
Yeah, he does. One notable point, Tank Scott, running back for Bremond, did not play last week against Mart. I've been told he's going to try to go, but I don't know if he's going to be 100%. And they're going to need him because Mount Enterprise, we know they're going to score.
We know they will score.
There are so many, and it's the way the schedule works out this year, guys. There's only 2 games on Thursday this week.
Yeah, Gunner plays Leonard in the district match. Shout out Leonard, by the way.
Great season for them.
I think,
kind of know what's going to happen. And then Refugio Mason. And then there's only 5 Saturday games.
One small point on Refugio Mason.
Okay.
Refugio, don't
read your press clippings.
Don't read your press clippings.
Yeah.
Don't read everyone is kissing Refugio's butt, including me. Everyone's kissing Refugio's butt. Mason is good enough
to win
that game. They're playing really well right now.
Yeah. Their 2 losses are to 3As, I think.
I don't think they'll overlook them. I don't think Drew Cox will let them overlook him.
I don't think so.
But if they even think about it, Mason's good enough to beat him.
So there's only 2 games Thursday. There's 5 on Saturday, which means there's in UIL 11-man. This is I'm not a 6-man guy. Hello. But there's 40 games in UIL 11-man. 33 of the 40 are Friday night. It's going to be it's the last really busy Friday night of the year, but the quality of football that we're going to see.
So good.
There are get out if you can get to a game Friday. Now, one other note: the weather Friday night. There's a lot of rain, but I think it's cold enough now where I don't think we'll have in the places where it's supposed to rain any chance of lightning.
Yeah.
Like typically when you get the severe weather, it's when it's warm. And you get the lightning. I'm not a meteorologist, but this is just what I've, weather.
Are you hearing this? Chief Meteorologist Matt Stepp?
When it's cold, you typically don't get the severe weather.
You're right.
And so breaking news, it is cold. It's in Dallas, it's in the high today was like 41. Usually you don't get severe thunderstorms in 41. So that being said, it may be a little bit miserable, so bring your raincoat, but get to a game Friday night. There are so many good games in every corner of the state. Go to a game.
It'll be a great week. Let's find out what Vianney Moreno wrote down.
We were well behaved.
We were well behaved.
Yes, you guys were kept it on track. So you guys are just ready to get out of here and get to Fajita Navidad.
To Chili's.
Yes, but I did write a couple.
Am I allowed to say Chili's on the air?
Yeah, sure. I just did.
Tepper aggressively yells, "It's happening."
Oh, for Stephenville West Plains. I'm so excited.
One of us is wrong. I don't know why I wrote that down. And then finally, personally victimized by the Randall Lions.
Oh, Iowa
Colony, buddy.
Yeah.
So, yeah, y'all kept it on track today.
Buddy,
Thank
yeah.
you. Well,
Good job.
we're rounding into form week 15.
Let me say this right now because I'm going to manifest. So I can't go to a game this week because it is the boys' birthday week.
Happy birthday to Hank.
Hank's birthday is Wednesday. Max's birthday is Friday.
Oh, that's right. Max and Hank are right back
Because we have
to
a
back.
mating season in Tepper
Because
household.
yeah, it's Conference USA
basketball
Just
tournament.
get you all riled up.
So we can't.
UNT plays on Friday.
Oh,
Yeah, there you
baby,
go.
first
Oh
round
my
game,
God.
Florida Atlantic and North Texas.
Anyway, I am going to try very hard to play a card for a Thursday night semifinal.
Which there will be.
There will be plenty.
Yeah,
There'll be at least
the 2As will play Thursday.
At the minimum
I need to go
two.
to one.
My guess is there'll be probably usually 4 or 5.
You know what my Thursday semifinal was last
Take
year?
a trip.
It was Hamilton and Stanford and Mineral Wells.
Dang.
How about let's say Cisco wins and Hamilton. How about Hamilton, Cisco, and Mineral Wells Thursday night?
I'm super into that.
We can go back to the Dairy Queen,
Super
hang out with
into
Cody Worrell, have Chicken Express in the press box.
It'd be super fun.
Yeah.
Anyway, we might. I'm manifesting that right now,
Okay,
and I can
all right.
say it because my wife doesn't watch this show.
Your wife? Oh, neither does mine.
Yeah. All right. Tell me where you're going this week.
Road trip week for me. Thursday night, I will be in San Antonio at Heroes Stadium.
You're doing Mason Refugio? Hell yeah,
Going to
brother.
Mason Refugio. I'm leaving. I'm going to do a half day at work Thursday and head on down to San Antonio.
That rocks.
Going to spend the night down there, and then Friday, a game we did not talk about, but I think it's going to be a great game. Lavernia and San Antonio Davenport,
Yeah. 'Cause here's the thing. Lavernia is the reigning regional champ.
12-1 versus 13-0.
This is a great ball
It's
game.
going to be a great crowd, local game, two local teams. It's gonna,
Lavernia's got an underrated fan base, too.
They do. They're going to show up.
They're
so
gonna show
I'm
up.
fired up for that game. And then Saturday, I'm going to head east on I-10 to Beaumont. 409, your boy is coming. I have not been to Beaumont in a while. I'm excited to get to this game. It is going to be a madhouse at Beaumont, Doggett Family Stadium. I'm going to see Barbers Hill for the second week in a row, taking on Port Arthur Memorial. It is going to be, what happened to our
Our
screen?
connection was lost.
No. VNA broke it.
I think that means we have to quit.
Oh,
Yep,
sorry.
that means we have to. But Saturday, 5 o'clock, I'll be at Doggett Family Stadium, Port Arthur Memorial, Barbers Hill, 409 stand up. I plan on looking forward to getting out there.
We were talking about this off
And
the
I may
air.
eat at Shobles. I got to drive right through Columbus on the way, so I might go to Shobles again.
We have we talked about this off the air. If Port Arthur Memorial makes it to state,
That's a crazy people fan base.
that would be
They got a big fan base.
That would be fun. Wait, do you think we get Bun B to do the coin flip?
He's been on Texas
Texas
football.
Football
He's
Today.
been on Texas football today, so
I think we still follow each other on Twitter.
at least maybe get him.
I could
If Port Arthur Memorial's in the state championship game, at least like on Monday's show or something, you got to have him on.
Oh my God, yes.
Just
Just like zoom in with Bun.
See if he's coming. Maybe he can bring some trail burgers too.
That'd be awesome. That's going to do it for us. We do appreciate you being a Dave Campbell's Texas football subscriber. VNA Moreno, thank you so much
Thanks,
for putting
VNA.
up with this nonsense.
Always.
Stepp, thanks for your courage.
Thank you.
Talk to you next week for state semifinal weekend on Tap and Step.
Bye.